Congress is trying to turn the clock back, and empowering district presidents. How are they going to do it? That will be a key question. Rahul Gandhi talked about some Congress leaders or compromised Congress leaders, and they are having some kind of a tacit understanding with the BJP. That point was left unattended.
Then the question comes, what are you doing at the top?
Correct. What we say, more they try to change, more they remain the same. Rahul Gandhi continues to be part-time politician. That's the reality. DMK is much stronger than Congress, TMC is much stronger than Congress. You have to accept and then work on alliances. The democracy, we need some strong opposition party.
On April 8th and 9th, Congress session took place at Ahmedabad. It also marks the Congress's resolve to take its battle right in Prime Minister Narendra Modi's hometown. Ahead of the Gujarat Assembly elections into 2027, it also somewhere shows a resolve in the Congress that it is battle ready, though there are a lot of questions how and what is the narrative they are going to set. But if you look at this 2 days event, first the extended CWC on April 8th, followed by AICC's session the next day, April 9th. Girish, there are two things. First is the Congress taking its battle to Narendra Modi's hometown, Ahmedabad. Yeah. What does it suggest?
Yeah, it's a good result, one can say, a very audacious attempt, because they went to Gujarat after, I say, 30 years.
Yes.
That's too long a period, and in this last 30 years, Congress has lost, it's been completely wiped out, except last election where they could get only one, So it's good attempt, and they try to reclaim legacies of Mahatma Gandhi and Sardar Patel. This also can be described as too little too late, as it is, BJP is trying to appropriate or rather appropriated Sardar Patel. So, yeah, I mean, good beginning, at least we can say.
If you look at the 2 day session, three things basically emerged. One was the emphasis on restructuring the organization. I don't think the entire organization, but what they talked about, the empowerment of the district presidents. Now, and some leaders also mentioned that we have to again get back to the model of 1970s. Second was that the commitment to the Congress ideology will matter now, and those who are not should be out. And the third thing is get ready for the street fight. Now, in all these things, what was the need, you think, for emphasizing this? And secondly, with the current structure that they have, I think these assertions are very interesting. I mean, very bold assertions. But given the structure, given the strength they have, how difficult it's going to be?
So, if you ask me, if there is one point that stands out, this is it, the first one that talks about empowering district presidents. Because if you look at every other political party structure, every party is centrally united or centralized, everything is centralized. It may be regional party, it may be a national party, whichever party you look at, So, Congress is trying to turn the clock back, and empowering district presidents. How are they going to do it? That will be a key question. Because when every other party is trying to make 2 or 3 leaders important, Congress is going back to its roots, where we're thinking of district presidents be empowered, This is the only point. The rest of the two, I think it is too much of a rhetoric, Because, I mean, what does that mean when Mr. Khadge says that if you can't deliver, get down, leave your... I mean, who will say, I'm not performing, I'll quit, This is too much of it, actually, to expect any of the party leaders. And actually, if the strength should have been to demonstrate the leadership strength, these are the people not performing, get rid of them. That's not the case. And more importantly, it was in Gujarat few weeks back, Rahul Gandhi talked about some Congress leaders or compromised Congress leaders, and they are having some kind of a tacit understanding with the BJP. That point was left unattended. So when you say some of my party leaders, some of my leaders are hand in glove with the BJP and you do nothing, so what does it say? There should have been some kind of follow-up action. So not taking action makes every leader in the Congress, it can be doubted about their intentions, So that question was left unattended. So, I mean, the first point about making district presidents, that's the only important takeaway. That's what I feel.
I also feel it was unwanted. I mean, in this kind of this massive scale, where you have a AICC session, the issue is not who is compromised or not. Then the question comes, what are you doing at the top?
Correct.
I mean, how aggressive are you?
Yeah.
I mean, how aggressive are your state party presidents? Are they putting their wholehearted, can they afford to, or are they intimidated by various agencies? So I think that was just a kind of, as you said, rhetoric. But again, the talk of Nyay Path, which they call Sangarsha Samarpan, what was it?
I mean, more I think of Congress, more I reminded of a term, what we say, more they try to change, more they remain the same, So this is what is happening. I mean, there was right from, if you look at history of Congress's sessions, right from one in, the most famous was in Rajasthan, and a couple of sessions after that. Every session comes up with some kind of a resolve, get down to basics, start fighting. But where is the Congress actually? Where is the strength and where is the organization? And in this era, when you have Amit Shah's and Narendra Modi's working 365 days, 24/7, you can't have such kind of leadership, So the biggest impediment Congress can have today, or is having today, and that should be removed. If there is one point, it's still in large section of people's mind, Rahul Gandhi continues to be part-time politician. That's the reality. I mean, unless you accept that, or unless you change that, I mean, his Bharat Jodo Yatra, it did wonder for him to get rid of his image as Pappu image, But what is beyond that? Number one, and it can't be one-time activity. This is like exercising, going to gym. Gymming can be one-time activity. It has to be daily, right? So there has to be party structure properly in place, party having some kind of an agenda, going to people, raising their issues. But that is something is missing in the Congress. And even after Ahmedabad session, a 2-day session, Rahul Gandhi took 3-day break, So you can't have 2-day work and 3-day break, when every other important leader is working 365 a day, I mean, a year, it is 24/7 work. So unless it is changed, how the Congress worker will feel motivated? That's the big question. And this is the thing I think Ahmedabad must have raised, what Congress worker got at the end of the day. And Congress, I don't see has any answer to that.
Yeah, because you're rightly saying this, because the narrative that should have emerged, a single narrative that would have enthused the even the present cadre, or the people who are, or the fence sitters right now, who are disillusioned with the central government on various issues, especially economic issues. And if they are looking for a credible alternative, or at least, considering a credible alternative, then what is a narrative you're setting?
Correct.
I think that, why people should look up to Congress. I think that some way has not come across very strongly.
And the beauty of that party is that, I mean, despite all these routes and aggressive BJP and EDs and CBIs and everything, still it has 20% of the votes. I mean, this is phenomenal. So actually, it has a major kind of a ahead of others. It's already there. So it has to build on that, and it's not that difficult, provided you have a hard-working leadership and you have some kind of an agenda. Ruling party's flaws can't be your pluses. I mean, the problem with the ruling party can't be your USP. You have to create something of your own to look more credible. This is not happening. And see last election, the goodwill Congress generated by mopping up as many as 99 plus 100 seats, it's nowhere there. and
Yeah.
it's completely washed away. You know, what the party did to retain that or to build up over that. You know, this is the serious problem Congress will have to look into.
I think there's something more introspection needs to be done within the organization than just riding on the Modi anti-Modi factor
Yeah,
or
yeah.
anti-constitution, because even in the yesterday's session, one of the issue that they actually hammered was again the threat to the constitution.
Yeah.
Now that's been done in one
Yeah,
elections.
correct,
Now
correct.
that cannot be your agenda for successive elections.
Yeah, yeah.
And even if you have to take that, then there are other ways of addressing.
Yeah,
I mean,
yeah.
how many times are your cadre on the grounds to actually go and defend a Dalit
Yeah.
in villages or
Yeah,
remote places? I mean, that at the grassroots, that action I think is
Yeah.
somewhere.
The Congress
missing.
leadership will have to, somebody need to tell them, wake up and smell the coffee, you know. See what has happened, constitution issue has two angles. First, you can't punish again for the same mistake, you know. So BJP has been punished because of whatever it did or it didn't do, whatever they say that it's a fake narrative, whatever. But it's been punished. So you can't have that punishment again and again and again. Number one. Number two, the limitation of constitution, Samvidhan Bachao call. The urban youth, he is already liberated. He has no connection whatsoever to the constitutional issues because he is already liberated, and mobile in his hand has given him a completely kind of a freedom, you know, the global youth. So this issue of Samvidhan has a very limited appeal. So you can't have entire your vote bank being addressed only on one issue. You have to have a bouquet of things, you know, on the table, you know, for various sections. I mean, for women, for workers, for Dalits, for urban youth, for rural youth, you have only one issue. Take out red book from the pocket and display it. But that's not going to work. And it didn't work in Haryana or neither in Maharashtra.
Absolutely, because as if you remember, late Pramod Mahajan used to say that you know, the Ram temple at Ayodhya, I mean, we've done with it.
Yeah.
You know, one elections, two elections we've
Yes,
done. It's
yes.
not going to stay with them
Correct.
forever. And
Yeah.
last elections, if we see, despite the corona, despite the the temple inauguration, I think BJP didn't.
No,
reap
they
the
lost in
benefits.
Faizabad.
Yeah, exactly.
I mean, the
Exactly.
biggest takeaway of the
Right.
or the most important point of 2024 election was the BJP lost in Ayodhya. There can't be anything bigger than that, you know. So Congress has to learn from these things. You know, the same issue you are going again and again and again with. It's not going to help party.
One aspect which Rahul Gandhi in his speech made, that the way we were clubbing Dalits, Muslims and Brahmins,
Yeah,
and OBC was overlooked.
Yeah.
And then he also mentioned about the commitment of the party to caste census.
Yeah.
I mean, do you think it's an issue, and what impact will it make politically?
See, caste census, I don't know how far it will bring voters behind Congress. It has its own problem. So the smart way could be what Telangana did yesterday in bifurcation and sub-classification in SC. That could be the way forward. We should be discussing
Yes.
in the next topic. We will discuss that. We'll slice it out. But otherwise, bringing everybody together will be a giant task for the Congress. And why it is so? Because BJP since 1970s were working on OBCs. So it's not one night kind of a success, one attempt success. It's not. BJP was working, and that's how Vasantara Bhagwat devised the theory called Madhav,
formula.
Mali, Dhangar, Vandari. Everybody was brought together, right from Kalyan Singh to Gopinath Munde to Narendra Modi to you name. And there are so many OBC leaders BJP brought to the fore. So that's not going to change overnight. So Congress will have to have a long-term strategy to have the social equations work for it. As of now, it doesn't look like it. It's groping in dark and trying to experiment with various other options. That's a very short-term goal, I feel.
So overall, I mean, how do you look at the session? Because if you look at the speeches, they were like run of the mill, even the
nothing
party president.
spectacular,
I mean, Mallikarjun Kharge, Something surprising was, again blaming the malpractices of the BJP. He has as much mentioned that, in Maharashtra there was excess votes and they manipulated and that. So I think some way their reluctance not to accept their internal shortcomings.
Correct.
I think that, if you're not admitting, how are you going to convey to your followers?
True.
I think that was not discussed, and this was they should have been honest about it and discussed on the forum.
True. And that is why it is not looking promising, To look promising, it has to have its own agenda. And this was stated only by one leader, Shashi Tharoor. He spoke in so many words, you don't have anything for youth between 18 to 25. What are we going to offer them, And there can't be just only negativity about the ruling party. You have to have some kind of a constructive program. If they have done good, praise them. I appreciate their effort, So, now the problem in Congress, I see, you also must be speaking to various leaders, they are scared of praising the ruling party, because suddenly you are marked as compromise or would be defector, that's mean. That's not mature leadership, it's okay. Whatever has happened. Now looking forward, you have to have your agenda. And what Mr. Tharoor said, it's perfectly correct. See, there are issues, like for example, what Congress could have done. See, so many Indian students are being sent back from US. Open a helpline. As simple as that. You're not going to offer them anything. You can't do that. But at least make some connection with them. What are their problems? What are they going to do once back in India? So even low-hanging fruits, I see Congress not picking them up. There are various new ideas. Congress should be reaching out to people. It has to be a connect program. It can't be every time Rama Mandir or opposition opposing to that. So small initiatives, and they need to give party cadres that kind of an engagement. It is completely missing. So like the top leadership, the local leaders, they are equally clueless. They look here and there, with no agenda given by the party. So a person like, say, a state president, he was really hardworking. He has to have Harshvardhan Sakpal, he has to have some kind of a direction from Delhi, where are we going to take the party forward, That is something I find Congress completely lacking.
That's surprisingly, because when you make such a big noise about your sessions, that's the difference between BJP and the present BJP and Congress. Because even if you take a small conclave of BJP in state level or district level, they are definite directions. They have very well chalked out plans.
Correct.
And plans with a timeline. And each task is assigned to individuals with a certain target and constant review of what happened, where it stands, and the continuous effort of mid-course corrections. What was missing in this AICC session was that first of all, the strong narrative which should have come, like why people should look up to Congress. It's as basic as that.
Correct.
I think that they have not addressed. They could have repeated the same thing. Why Congress ideology is so significant now. Significant now, and how does it help in this 21st century India? Simple thing like that. I think that was not defined. The roadmap was not defined. What the cadre has to do, or what the Congress workers has to do for next 5 years, 2 years, that's not defined.
It's not goal-oriented,
Absolutely. After the defeat in Maharashtra and Haryana polls and Delhi also, they are now surely focusing on Gujarat election, and they have time, 2027. So how battle ready are they?
See, Congress has always survived on people's anger towards the ruling party. So this is something they have been hoping for, but which is not going to be the way it happened in 70s and 80s, number one. Number two, more at hand, what they need to do is, so where in the political spectrum they stand, they have to be clear. You can't be all over, which currently they are trying to do. And first thing will be about Bihar elections. So what is there in Bihar you are going to offer? Are you going to have a kind of an association, formal association with Lalu's party? You are still going to hope for some kind of a decent performance in Bihar? Gujarat is very far, and Gujarat is tough challenge. It is no longer Mahatma Gandhi's Gujarat. It is Modi Shah's Gujarat, and it has completely changed the politics and the what do you call
the pulse of the people.
It is completely changed. It is completely changed. So they will have to have. I think more than Gujarat, they should start from some other state. Gujarat is a very, very tall order. But then if you want to start with Gujarat, you have to have a proper agenda. I don't think this meeting offered that. What I find about Congress's meeting is that it's great on talks, but nothing on the output part. Input is great. I mean, everybody talks about the political philosophy and the secularism, everything under the sun. But what is the 3-4 point takeaway from the conclave? You have to have this corporate style output driven kind of a major mechanism, which is missing. So everything is fine. I mean, discussion, but what am I supposed to do? The Congress worker will have this question, everything is perfectly fine, but what's for me? This is missing, and this Congress will have to fix it. Earlier the better. Otherwise, chances of revival are very, very grim.
So almost 3 decades they have lost in Gujarat, and and somehow BJP has been kind of very it's getting stronger and stronger. Of course, there are many issues, I'm sure, because it's not that Gujarat has become very developed in the Latin spirit one would expect. There are issues there also, but the point is what alternative Congress can give, right from the organizational, whether their organization in Gujarat, does it have that confidence actually, first of all, to actually come out and fight on the street against the BJP?
I doubt, and after the demise of Ahmed Patel, Congress is completely rudderless, and his son also is in hobnobbing with the BJP.
Yes.
So what you expect in Gujarat, and the fear what Rahul Gandhi expressed, party leadership compromise, that is, it's difficult to believe that it is not true. So in this situation, how you start from scratch, and you have to have at least 30-year program to revive party in Gujarat, Forget, it's not going to happen next election. And last election, again, issue was about the AAP, The same thing what AAP did to Congress in Gujarat, Congress did to AAP in Delhi. So it's a zero-sum game for both parties. So where are you going to start from? And that, I think, it's too tall order, for the Congress. The basics are to be first put in place. And then you can think of a larger picture.
And also in this conclave, I think they probably deliberately skip the concept of alliances. No reason also, because there are no elections immediately. But that reassuring thing that we are there and we are kind of willing to form a front that is against the NDA something. That was not there. So
except 3-line statement on India, opposition alliance was completely missing. And why and how can Congress expect that kind of a treatment from opposition? It's nowhere in the state. There are so many regional parties. DMK is much stronger than Congress. TMC is much stronger than Congress. You have to accept and then work on alliances. That realization, and what I find funny is central leaders' inability to look at the real issues. The state leadership of Congress may say, for example, in West Bengal, it will be against an alliance with TMC for their own reasons. But the central leadership will have to convince the local, their own cadres, to that the larger picture, larger interest in mind. That is not happening. So similar thing happened in Haryana. There were voices in Congress who were saying that you are putting all baskets in one, all eggs in one basket, like that is that Huda. And it went completely burst for the Congress.
They messed up in Maharashtra also. No?
Same in Maharashtra.
Maharashtra, they messed up the whole thing. Yeah, absolutely.
So now, so it's in dilemma. And what happens, in Indian psyche, unless you are successful, the cadres and the people down the line won't listen to you. And that's how Rahul Gandhi's dilemma could be, since he hasn't delivered after 2024 election. And in political parlance, this success is not a one-time activity. You have to have continuously working, relentlessly working on your own pluses and strengths, that is missing completely.
And also this thing of, you cannot say we are not, we are an organization which is not concerned about the power. Congress's DNA is power.
No, every political party,
especially 100 years.
No, in every political party. Why are they in the game? Otherwise,
why are you in the game? And the second thing, like, unless you have that kind of grit and determination that you have to give your everything wholeheartedly, you have to fight, to win. That is somewhere really missing.
It's totally humbug to say that we are not here to, we are not power hungry, and if you're not
too idealistic a stand
and
without any base.
Yes. They have to say bluntly and work tirelessly for that goal, You can't take a 2-day session and 3-day break and run a thumb war, That's the thing, and then you talk loud about not being power hungry and all that. This is no one going to buy, actually.
So anyway, Girish, thank you so much. Let's see how the Congress evolves after this session.
Because the democracy, we need some strong opposition party, It's good. Let's hope.
Thank you so much.
Thank you.